Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm back at it again with another video. Hey, as always, if y'all want to jump directly into the Full Gear pay-per-view, by all means, go ahead. Timestamps are down in the description box below, but I think y'all might want to stick around and hear this for a second because Ricky Starks just popped off. Now, to be fair, obviously, this can obviously be a work shoot. I'm pretty sure this is a work shoot, but something tells me, hearing the disdain in his voice, and I'll leave a link down in the description box if you want to see the actual video, just to hear how he's talking. Obviously, you see the actual recent events. You can't tell me Buddy ain't speaking from the heart, right? So check this out. He says, I think everybody wants a statement from old Ricky Starks, right? Well, the statement is, I'm standing right here in the middle of a GCW ring, and I got a lot of things I want to get off my chest. But I want to say first and most importantly, damn, it feels good to be right here back in New Jersey. There was a time when I beat a certain straight edge superstar and I won the Owen Hart tournament, and I came out here and talked to every single one of you. And before that, I sat in the back biting my nails because I didn't think anybody would really accept absolute Ricky Starks. And man, did you prove me wrong. That's what Starks was saying to the New Jersey crowd. He continued saying, and you proved me wrong one more time when I came down the escalator. One thing about me, passion runs through my blood, and I'll be damned if I sit at home and get frozen out. I'll be damned if I sit at home and let my career dwindle. I am 34 years old. I'm healthy, I'm goddamn good looking, and most importantly, I'm a generational superstar. I am in control every step of the way. I do what I want, and I say what I want, and I dress how I want. And if you don't like that, you can kiss my black ass. One thing that is important about me is I am going to come back where I came from in the very beginning. And why not start in one of the hottest promotions right now, GCW. I'll leave a link down in the description below if you want to read the article for yourself also, just for more context, right? Because there's more written about it. But I just really wanted to focus on the actual excerpt in itself. I'll give credit where credit is due to the man, bruh. Like, hey, I'm going to take matters to my own hand. Now, I'm not sure whether or not his contract has expired yet. I don't think so. I don't believe so, right? Maybe it did. I mean, can you just show up into another promotion like that? Or, like, is it just like he can't compete in the promotion? I'm not sure. But from what it looks like, hey, Buddy's trying to take steps into the right direction. Now, like I said, obviously, this is most likely a work shoot promo. Always look at the blurring of the lines. You don't know where it starts and you don't know where it ends. So obviously this is one of those things that you want to take with a grain of salt. I'm just saying, you look at the promo in itself, you look at the context of the promo. Obviously you've been looking at what's been happening in Ricky Starks this past year. Honestly, I haven't seen Ricky Starks wrestle since like Revolution? Has it been that long? I think personally, I speak for myself, I haven't seen Ricky Starks since Revolution. So damn, he legit missed out the entire 2024, and homeboy wasn't even injured. You know, I hear all these talks and all these concerns and all this, and mind you, some of them rightfully so, right? I like to think that the company in itself can do whatever the fuck they want to do, but just to keep it consistent, when WWE does it, it's typically for 90 days. Right? And people get all up in arms, let the person go. You know, remember the whole Mustafa Ali campaign a couple of years ago? Let Mustafa Ali go, free Mustafa, all that shit. Well, it seems to me Tony Khan has just as much of a vendetta than Vince McMahon. I mean, even worse. Damn, how long was it after that campaign when Mustafa Ali was gone? At the very least, wasn't Mustafa working? Right? He was working. Mind you, you can argue main event or whatever the case may be, but he was still working. Ricky Starks ain't working at all. Homeboy just sitting at home, not injured, gathering up spider webs, legit killing this man's career. Now, granted, I find it kind of conspicuous that he brought up CM Punk. Could it be because of the relationship with CM Punk? I mean, he mentioned some other things like the way he dressed and all this other kind of stuff. Could be that also. Could it be he said a little bit too many things backstage that got underneath Tony Khan's skin? You know, Ricky kind of gave me that impression that maybe he wasn't too pleased with having his momentum completely fucking obliterated with Chris Jericho after the whole MJF stuff. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if he doesn't like the fact that someone like an MJF can get promoted, but him? won't shock me if that happens to be the case also. I wouldn't be shocked if maybe there was some heat between him and Edge. Maybe. I think with Ricky Starks, he got too much heart. I think with Ricky Starks, it's a situation where, you know, you put someone in the bubble for so long and they really want to show out. And here's the thing, it's not as if you had to put Ricky Starks at the top of the card, right? I'm not going to sit and pretend I'm the world's biggest Ricky Starks fan, but Buddy does have charisma. Buddy does have a lot of things that your company is absolutely lacking at the moment and can very well use. And I'm just stating the obvious. I mean, if we're going to go with this caricature midget wrestling bullshit, at least pick one of the best, right? And Ricky Starks happens to be one of the best as far as a 5-tool player. And you can't sit here on one hand and say that MJF is right there and Ricky Starks isn't. He's not better than MJF, but at the same time, it ain't like he ain't right next to him. He's a hell of a lot. If he's not better than MJF, fine, I'll take that, but he's a hell of a lot better than most of the other talents in there. Again, but he's a prisoner of war right now, man. Let my dude go. Ricky Starks, let my dude go. Let him go. Free my nigga Ricky. Free my nigga Ricky. With that being said, though, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below in regards to that. Let's get into the AEW Full Gear review. Show out for me. Alright, I thought that was somewhat interesting, I'm not gonna lie. The match in itself I didn't give a shit about. In fact, to be honest with you, it was way too many joke telling in the match, at least for my liking. You know, the scissoring, leg drop, and shit like that got a little bit too goofy for me. Don't really care too much about the Outsiders or the Roadrunners or whatever the fuck they're called. I mean, I'm a big fan of Turbo Floyd, but at the same time, like I said on the last show, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm a fan of the goofiness from Turbo Floyd when it's like, you know, done in increments. When it's like taking up the entire show or taking up the entire event as a whole, nah, I'm kind of over it now. You know, the meme is dead, folks. The meme is dead. But I will say, the match in itself, for the story that it was trying to tell between Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, I dug that portion. That was actually good. I like that. I want to see where they're going to go with that, especially how it played into the finish, where Anthony Bowens, he kept getting screwed over by Max Caster because of his arrogance. You know, that's a story. That is a legitimate story that was told in the match in itself that seems somewhat compelling coming out of it. You know, it is one of those deals. Oh, look at Orange Cassidy. He's being interviewed right now. It is one of those deals where I would like to see where it's going to go. I would like to see how it's going to play out, especially because I heard, and apparently maybe this happened off the, because I don't remember this happening on Dynamite. Maybe it happened on Rampage or Collision, which I don't watch because, again, I have a life. I heard that MVP gave a card to Max Caster, so maybe that has something to do with it. Who knows? Maybe everything that I wanted to happen with Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins might actually end up happening with Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. So we'll see how it's going to play out. But the match in itself, nah, way too goofy for my liking. I thought the match in itself was very, I don't know, markish. You know, kind of gives me that stupid fucking indie feeling that you get when you watch clowns on the indie circuit joke around way too fucking much. Again, just way too much clownish bullshit. But the story in itself between Anthony Bowens and Max Caster and I guess presumably Billy Gunn, I like to see where that's going to go. Hopefully that plays out going forward, although it's going to be kind of weird because again, Max Caster has John Cena's gimmick essentially, so I don't know how it's going to play out. Well, then again, he is presumably, I think, going to join the Hurt Syndicate, which should be also interesting too, because I think Max Caster and Shelton Benjamin, they have a little bit of a history going back also, right, with Max Caster saying he didn't want Shelton Benjamin in the company. But so we'll see where that goes. But the match in itself, nah, don't like it. It was fucking trash. Continuing on, coming up next, let me see what's coming next. Hang on. MJF and Roderick Strong. Had to put the TV on mute. Obviously can't keep it, you know, going when there's a possibility I can get fucked over by AEW, especially because it's pretty obvious that Tony Khan watches all my reviews. He watches every single one of my reviews, and he wants to cancel your boy. He wants to cancel my boy. Tony, suck my dick, you fucking loser. Sorry, getting out of control there. Continuing on, MJF, Roderick Strong in the match that shouldn't have happened. Let's go. I mean, I just don't give a fuck about this. I just don't. I simply don't give a fuck about this at all. I get what they were trying to do. I get the premise of what they're trying to promote, but I just can't find myself to give a fuck about these people, let alone the match in itself. So, you had Roderick Strong. He came out all boring and vanilla as fuck, right? No one gives a fuck about Roderick Strong besides the AEW faithful, and I highly doubt they give a shit about him also, especially after this match. MJF comes out. He tried to get some heat, right? He actually tried to do something because obviously, if there was 100% charisma in this match, I'll put it to you this way. If there was 100% charisma in this match, 110% came strictly from fucking MJF, and -10 came from Roderick Strong. He is so fucking boring. I mean, he is Lance Storm, Stone Cold Steve Austin, laying on top of the stage with a pillow. Boring. He is fucking boring. He is so fucking boring. And there's something else too. As much as I appreciate MJF trying his best to do something, I mean, I know it's hard because again, you're working with Roderick Strong when it's all said and done, so it's only so much you can fucking do, okay? You're not carrying the weight. You know, you guys ever heard the whole like, I'm putting all that weight on my back to carry something cliche? No, this motherfucker's carrying a fucking planet with this fucking just nothingness. Like, I've never seen something have literally nothing, just completely void of absolutely nothing, yet weigh so fucking heavy on someone's back. But even with that being said, MJF, you are a professional, buddy. I don't understand. Look, I get it. You want to curse? Fine. I curse all the time too. But guess what? I'm in my space when I curse, okay? If you want to curse, come in my space, buddy, pal, Jim Punk. Come over here. Come over here. Be a commentary channel if you really want to, okay? But here's my idea, okay? Here's my thing. How many times do you have to say shit in order to get something over as a filler word? I mean, this dude was saying shit so many times, not just in the promo, but in the match in itself. And I know that's like a staple to go to in AEW. It's like the word bitch for the divas up in WWE. It's shit in AEW because, you know, it's funny and you know, it's edgy and it's edgy. Like I said, I'm not opposed to cursing. Like, I'm not some fucking stickler, but at least within professional wrestling, I don't know, I kind of want my promos to be a little bit more, you know, like, feel like you're working for it a little tiny bit, right? You just use the word shit as filler. I mean, this dude, he says shit as many times as, say, the fleshlights over there in Israel being pounded by fucking Raghead Muhammad or boom, 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 Saeed. Like, fuck. Dude, I swear, if he says shit one more time, man, I was gonna go take a shit during this match. Nevertheless, though, maybe I should have. They actually went into this match, and again, stereotypical wrestling. You know, I'll say this. The selling, for the most part, was pretty good, right? I'm not gonna lie. The selling was fine. The hand, the shoulder of Roderick Strong, the lower back of MJF, them constantly having incomplete moves because they were trying to sell. My only deal was, like, the match didn't really feel as long as it should have been for them to have those kind of injuries compiling up. You know what I mean? It kind of felt forced a little tiny bit, but not forced enough where it was kind of distracting, right? But nevertheless, though, they did go back and forth. You know, you got a nice little counter from Roderick Strong when MJF tried to go for... So I think... No, I'm sorry. I counter for MJF. Roderick tried to go for, I'm assuming, another end of heartache because he hit one on MJF, and then MJF put his foot on the ropes, which is still the stupidest wrestling cliche of all time. I can understand having your foot underneath the ropes, but like putting it on the ropes, never really understood that, never gonna understand that. I mean, dude, if you can do all that, then you can probably kick out. I mean, it's not remember, when you kick out, you're just throwing up a shoulder. I mean, if you can put your foot on the ropes, I think it would take less injury just to lift up a right shoulder or a left shoulder than lifting up a leg. But again, wrestling cliche that I've been seeing for 30 years now that no one ever fucking questions, right? Nevertheless, though, MJF did end up winning the match. He locked in a Salt of the Earth armbar, which came out of fucking nowhere, and Roderick Strong tapped out. And mind you, I don't hate finishes like that. That's a William Regal finish, where, like, you know, you lock in a submission hold and then you immediately tap out. That's a William Regal move. But at the same time, though, it's one of those deals where it's like, it's on pay-per-view, right? It's on pay-per-view. I don't mind that kind of finish on television. I do kind of mind it when it's on pay-per-view a little tiny bit. It just feels kind of like a letdown. Feels like it just came out of nowhere. But nevertheless, though, he did win the match. He picked up a steel chair, brought it into the ring, and he put it on Roddy's hand, or arm, I guess, area. And then he stepped on it, and then he broke it. And for some reason, Mercedes Moné is on my TV right now, and she's cutting a promo. I don't know. Oh, no, sorry. She's just talking shit. Okay, never mind. Can't really tell. I mean, she got those duck lips, so, you know, like, she moves it from a distance. It looks like she's talking on a microphone. That's how big her lips are. But nevertheless, though, Afterwards, when he stepped on the arm, that's when Adam Cole came out with the rest of the Undisputed Dorks, and they ran out and they tried to confront MJF. What are you doing, buddy? You're trying to break my friend's arm, huh? Is that revenge for you breaking your back on top with him on top of your shoulders, on top of your back? Yeah, that's called revenge, Adam. Okay, you're gonna know that also when the match happens between you two. But MJF ran into the crowd, and and this actually was probably the best part of the match to me, but at the same time, again, I don't give a fuck. You have Adam Cole there, and Kyle O'Reilly, a wild Kyle O'Reilly appears. Where the fuck did he come from? Maybe he's just that fucking lame that I didn't even notice that he came. I mean, you got to be fucking lame when Cuck Canellis is somehow overshadowing you as far as image is considered. I didn't even know he was in the fucking ring. But he shoves Adam Cole to the mat. Adam's looking at him all confused, but obviously this is stemming from Kyle O'Reilly trying to tell him to not deal with MJF so stuff like this wouldn't occur. And he picks up Roddy and he walks away with him, which is strange. I mean, he just got his arm broken, so why are you picking him up in that manner? Better yet, where the fuck are the EMTs? You would think they will probably be involved. Whatever, bro. I'm using way too much logic. Like I said, as far as the angle, I get what they're trying to do. Best friend angle. They've been doing this shit for over 50 years at this point, probably. It is what it is. I don't hate the idea of the angle of what they're trying to do necessarily. Anything to get them out of this whole MJF Adam Cole debacle. That, again, did I remind you? Let me remind you. That's going on 2 years. Let's get this shit over with. But then at the same time, it's a conflict because it's like you're leaving one angle that I don't give a shit about because you keep fucking running it back and forth to another angle that I don't give a shit about regarding the angle that you keep going back and forth to. Now, to be fair, it happened in NXT, but at the same time, I don't care. I don't care for Kyle. I don't care for Adam. I don't care for the Undisputed Kingdom. I want them all to go, I don't know, fucking breathe in water for all I care. Just stop. Like, I don't know where you go with this group, honestly, for me to be interested into it. Like I said, the angle in itself, I'm going to praise as far as it being done well. But at the same time, I just strictly don't give a fuck. I simply don't give a fuck. I really don't give a fuck. But like I said, if this is a way to try to get MJF away from this bullshit, then fine. At least you can put these guys in a bubble and they can do their own lame ass story. And then I can have a reason to actually skip over it versus MJF actually doing something interesting. So if that's a plus that I can get out of it, it's a plus I'm going to take. Like I said, though, Sasha and Kris Statlander are about to go at it. So, well, actually, they're going at it right now. Let me go watch this bullshit. That was so weird. Like, I don't know if you guys are watching the show. I mean, obviously you're not now because you're watching my review. So shut the fuck up, smart asses. But I mean, if you were watching the show, if you remember the spot, like Mercedes is like walking up the aisleway and she stops and the entrance music cuts off and she's holding up her belts. I swear it felt like someone was about to come out for a second, but apparently not. So let's talk about this real quick. This is by far Mercedes Moné's best match. Like, period. Like, it's not even fucking close. This is easily her best match since joining AEW. Like, I can't stress this enough. It's not even remotely fucking close. Not even remotely fucking close. And also, I'm gonna give all the credit in the world to Kris Statlander. Like, I know people are gonna be like, well, Devontae, you're just saying that because you don't like Mercedes? Oh, you don't like Mercedes? No, you gotta watch the match. Like, seriously, she didn't do anything. You had Kris Statlander. She was a great base. It looked like she legit fucked her knee up with that backbreaker, but we'll see how. I mean, she got carried out by the referees and people in the back. I'm not sure if she was selling. She was really selling. I mean, again, I don't know if she was selling the knee. She did a backbreaker spot, which looked really fucking good too. But I guess she put too much twerk on it, and when she slammed Mercedes on her thigh, knee, quad area, she sold it the entire match, and it looked like, because I mean, it's kind of weird too, because it's not as if Mercedes wasn't attacking the knee, so I'm going to reserve judgment on that, but she was carried out. I mean, it's not as if you can injure one leg and then you can't attack the other leg, but like I said, this was easily Mercedes' best match, all thanks to Kris Statlander. She was a great base for Mercedes. All Mercedes did the entire match. You want to hear Mercedes spots the entire match? Okay, ready for this? Okay, the Eddie Guerrero stuff, right? Because that's what she likes to do. It's the Eddie Guerrero stuff. She yells and screams when she's selling. I'm pretty sure it comes natural to her because she seems like that kind of person. And Meteor. Meteora. 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 What's flying through the sky? A comet? No, it's a meteor. No, wait, no. Meteora. 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 Meteora, 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 Meteora. Oh, you're tired of me saying Meteora? Oh, let me say it again. Meteora, 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 Meteora. Yeah, that's you got to know it after a while, right? Doesn't even sound like a real word after a while. That's how I felt watching Mercedes Moné in this match. That's how I feel like when I watch Mercedes Moné in all her matches. I gotta say this one more time for all the people who say things like 5 moves of doom, saying, oh, he got the 5 moves of doom. Stone Cold Steve Austin, all he does is throw punches. The Rock, he can't wrestle, he throws punches. Oh, so hurt. Really? 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 I swear, it's like every time I watch AEW wrestlers, it's like they ignore the variations of the moves that they do because A, it's in a variation, and B, because flips and dives and kicks and stuff like that. Like Will Ospreay does the same thing too. Reverse Poison Rana, some variation of a kick, some variation of a dive, some variation of a cutter. That's the entire match. That's the entire match. And the same thing can be said about a Sasha Banks, a Mercedes Moné, bruh. She doesn't do, I can't tell you any other spot outside of the Meteora and ripping off Eddie Guerrero. That's essentially it. And then she did her little moneymaker finisher, and then she got a nice pop from the audience. But again, that was all because of Kris Statlander. Everything was because of Kris Statlander. Everything was because of Kris Statlander. And you know what? The funny thing is, it's not as if I disagree with Mercedes winning the match. She had to. You can't just drop the belt to Kris Statlander like that with pretty much no story attached to it, or at least a story that's been attached to it. It wasn't a lot of meat on the bones yet. Not to say that it was necessarily bad. It's just that like we haven't gotten enough from Kris Statlander and Sasha Banks to think that it would be smart to drop the belt right now. But it was one spot that I really thought for a second that she was gonna win. That little fucking thing she did with that inside out, like she inside out at Mercedes right into a tombstone power driver. I thought for a minute she was gonna win the match with that right there, but she didn't. And I'm not gonna lie, also, I kind of don't like, and maybe this is just me being like a little, like I'm an old guy yelling at the crowds, gosh darn it, you motherfucking kids, and you're ruining the wrestling. But you know, Kris Statlander doing everybody's fucking finishers. I mean, she does a tombstone power driver. You know, she did Brock Lesnar's F5. And like, I don't know, I just kind of feel some type of way when I see people kick out of moves like that. It just bugs the ever-loving shit out of me. Like, I know old heads nowadays, they hate it when Damian Priest, they do stuff like Damian Priest does the outsider's edge, right? Or the razor's edge, however you like to look at it. And people kick out of it. And I understand. I can understand where you're coming from. Or like when I see retards do like last rise or sit out last rise, the Undertaker old finisher, and people kick out of it. It bugs me. It really does bug the shit out of me. But in F5, I mean, you're doing it with cutters, like, you know, DDP and Randy Orton's finisher. You're doing it with the super kicks, like Shawn Michaels' finisher. It's like nothing has any meaning anymore in regards to moves. That shit really does bug the ever-loving fuck out of me. But outside of that, though, putting that bias to the side, like I said, it was a pretty solid match for the most part. All credit goes to Kris Statlander, and hopefully the injury, the so-called injury, was just that, so-called, and she was just selling really well. Because again, like, when she did that tilt-a-whirl, it really looked like it knocked her knee out of place. And I didn't really pay attention to what knee Sasha was going after to make it look like she was actually selling. But we'll see as time goes on throughout the night whether or not she actually got injured. But nevertheless, Kris Statlander carried Sasha Banks in this match. You don't like it? Mold, bitch. Yeah, so I hated everything about this match. Not one thing about this match that I liked at all. For one, it was just boring. It was just boring. People can sit here and say all they want to. Devontae, that was a classic wrestling match. No, it wasn't. They did the exact same shit that you would see on an episode of Dynamite. They did the exact same shit that you're going to see throughout the card, throughout the rest of the night. It's going to be the same shit that you're going to see most likely in the match with Jack Perry and Daniel Garcia. It's the same shit that you've seen with MJF earlier tonight with Roderick Strong as far as the pacing of the match. It's the same shit. It's the same type of fucking match. The same lame garbage type of match. Yeah, hang on for a second. This better be fucking good too. He's actually attacking him on the entrance ramp. Let me see where this is gonna go, folks. Give me a second. Well, that was lame as fuck. He didn't do anything. He went out the ring. He hit Jay White from behind, and then Christopher Daniels came out and he punched him in the face. Wow, nice way to get your fucking heat back there, buddy. Holy shit. Wow, what a waste of fucking time. Why was this shit even on the card? Why was this shit even necessary? This was just fucking stupid, bro. This was all just to give momentum to boring ass Jay White. This was lame, bro. Like I said, the entire match is what you're gonna get throughout the entire fucking night. What you could have got on an episode of Dynamite. Honestly, what you would have got on an episode of fucking Collision. No, I'm sorry. What you would have got on an episode of Rampage. No. What you would have got on an episode of Dark Elevate. No. What you would have got on an episode of fucking Dark. No. What you would have got on some PWG bullshit show circa 2006, bro. I'm telling you, this was just a waste of fucking time, bro. A waste of fucking time. It had no heat. The crowd didn't give a fuck about this match whatsoever. They're selling the exact same injury that Kris Statlander just sold with the knee injury the previous match. They didn't do anything in this match. It was just boring. A waste of fucking time. Like, this match probably could have used a gimmick. I noticed throughout the match card tonight, there's no gimmicks, right? And I was saying to myself, you know what? That's actually a pretty good change of pace, right? You know what? I never thought I'd actually say this about an AEW show, but this match could have probably used a gimmick. This could have used something, especially because this is the rematch, right? But fuck, what a boring ass match. And then to put the cherry on top, you have Hangman Adam Page lose again. Now, granted, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I give a fuck about Hangman Adam Page, but like, you just had him in this brutal feud with Swerve Strickland that was arguably your company's feud of the year, honestly, and you give him all that momentum just to take it away from him? He lost twice against this man, bruh. This isn't an Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio situation. He's not over like Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero got over more so on his charisma and his characteristics. And also, oh yeah, him and Rey actually had, a good feud. I mean, kind of cringe at certain points, but nevertheless, a solid good feud for the most part. And it was long. Like, I don't understand. What was I hate the fact that they pretend as if their superstars are so fucking big that they actually think that them wrestling is going to give a rub, because that's all this is. It was, let's give the rub to Jay White, which, by the way, I can only imagine how the fans of Jay White or New Japan Pro Wrestling should feel about this, right? Like, imagine, that's your guy, right? Wasn't he champion in one of the top hills, like, earlier in the decade? Like, how does it feel knowing that your top guy in Japan is nothing more than fodder, right? Fodder to the degree that you think that he needs a rub. And fodder to the degree that you think that he needs a rub from someone like a joke like Hangman Adam Page, because that's what he is right now. He's a fucking loser. You get this tough gimmick, I'm such a badass, I'm a cowboy, Red Dead Redemption. My name is Arthur Morgan, I got tuberculosis, I got the TB. Oh my god, bro. Yeah, you got the fucking TB, you got the terrible bubble guts, oh, maybe I got the terrible bubble guts. I don't know. I got a shit right now. But man, this was just bad. This was bad. The post-match stuff was fucking terrible. The ending of it was fucking terrible. The match in itself was fucking boring. The crowd was fucking dead. The storyline regarding this, if there ever was one, was fucking bad. Everything about this was just fucking bad. It was just filler. This felt like the most, I don't know, like, name-filled filler I've ever fucking seen, bro. And then just all that, just to have Hangman Adam Page lose after you gave all that momentum to Swerve Strickland after all of this. For Swerve Strickland to be in a match with Bobby Lashley right now, coming up. Well, actually, no. I think this is Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. It was just a waste of time. That's all I got to say. It was just a waste of fucking time. What a waste of a fucking match. All right, so before we talk about Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay, because I want to dedicate a little bit of time to that, let's just get this out of the way too. So Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May had their little celebration. It was so fucking cringe. What the fuck was this? This was so bad. This was so ill-timed. This is why you don't have Asian women do angles, right? Like, if you are like a participant in Stardom or a participant in Shimmer or anything with women's wrestling in Japan in general, just stick to the wrestling, bro. Just stick to the wrestling. Just, man, when it comes to the promos, when it comes to the angles, they're just all bad at it. And I get it. It's a different culture of professional wrestling, but they're just bad. They're just terrible. When it comes to the actual sports entertainment aspect, like doing angles, promos, they're all Asian women are bad. They're just bad. They're just terrible. I don't know what to tell you. They're just fucking terrible. And this is no different. You have Mariah May coming out, and it's pretty clear where this was going. Even the crowd could tell, obviously, before they even went directly to the angle. They shared a swap of champagne drinking, and Mariah May tried to hit her in the head when she wasn't looking, Mina that is, with a champagne bottle. And Mina predictably seen it coming like everybody in the fucking world. And then afterwards, they stood there staring at each other after Mariah May hit her in the head. I mean, they awkwardly stared at each other for a little bit. Then Mariah spit in her face. Then, in one of the most timed, like, you could have easily avoided this. I mean, seriously, I took a shit, came back, and the spot was still in the motion of happening. This could have been easily dodged. Mina ended up spearing Mariah May, like, off the stage onto a table that looked like it was super duper comfortable. And they still somehow fucked up the spot. I think, like, Mariah actually hit her head on the back of the floor, and, like, Mina, it looked like she knocked a tooth out of her mouth, because I don't know, again, they're just terrible at doing angles. What do you want me to tell you? And then, like, she started kissing her on the forehead with blood coming out of her mouth. It was cringe. And I guess they're gonna have a match, which this does not feel like it should be for the women's championship. Kris Statlander and Mercedes felt more like for the world women's title than this does. This deserves the TBS. This has mid-card written all over it. But AEW, what are you gonna do? They always gotta do shit backwards, right? But let's talk about this Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay match for a second, all right? Like I said, I want to dedicate a little bit of time to this, because maybe I'm the one, and I said this plenty of times before, but I gotta reiterate this one more time. I'm turning 33 in a couple of months, right? I'm getting to that point now where, technically speaking, by United States standards, I'm not too far from technically being middle-aged now, right? I don't sound like it, I don't act like it, and I damn sure don't look like it, but yeah, I'm getting to that point now. And, you know, like I said, I talked about this plenty of times before in the past. I've been watching professional wrestling for nearly 30 years. First match I ever seen, or the first match that I can ever recall in my mind as a kid, was Shawn Michaels and Mankind at Mind Games in 1996. That's the first match I can ever recall in my mind watching live, right? And it's just one of those deals where it's like, you know, growing up, seeing spots done in professional wrestling actually meant something. You know, you see an angle, and the angle in itself interpreted a lot. You know, that was the lasting thing in your mind, was a devastating spot being done to somebody to keep them off of television for weeks, sometimes months. And then they come back, and then the spot is attempted again during the match typically. And that usually follows up with the actual finish in itself. And to see this match and see how many spots, and this is just an AEW trope. Actually, this is just a professional wrestling trope as a whole, but I feel like AEW does it a lot, where they take devastating, angle-worthy spots and they're just transitional moves. And the amount of times they've done these kind of spots in this match in particular, it's nauseating. It's disgusting. It's embarrassing. And it just pisses me off that professional wrestling fans nowadays, that's all they have. That's all they have to look forward to, is the wrestling in itself, because you really can't do anything nowadays because of society as a whole when it comes to how sensitive certain topics are, which is a damn shame, because it's like they get offended and you can't simply separate the art from real life. And it really takes a toll on professional wrestling. So yeah, this match with Kyle and Will, and the amount of things that they were doing in the match, you know, it's just stupid. The brain busters on the floor, just so many transitional spots that should have been angle worthy moves, you know. And the one that really took a toll on me was the one that went towards the end of the match, when Kyle Fletcher hit a tombstone power driver on Will Ospreay off the apron onto some stairs. And it's like, what are we even doing anymore? I don't understand it, and I don't get it. What are we even doing anymore? Like, the goal is to get people over. And, you know, credit where credit is due, they gave Fletcher the win, right? They gave Kyle Fletcher the clean win. He won clean. But it's like, did it really take all that for a Will Ospreay to go down? It's not as if you did multiple finishers, which at least that would have made sense. It's a pay-per-view. It's a pretty contested feud. You're trying to get someone over. You're trying to get people over. But, like, they didn't do that. They went above and beyond to protect Will Ospreay by suggesting it took all these devastating moves to put him down. But it's like, at what cost? At what cost to professional wrestling and its integrity? At what cost to professional wrestling and the integrity of the move in itself? It's like you can't tell a story without having to go above and beyond. It's like hip hop music nowadays, where it's like you can't never just rely on the music in itself. You know, you can never just rely on trying to relate to the people who you're trying to establish a relationship with in regards to your artistry and music. It's now you have to rely on the beats by itself. And sometimes the beats are just outright fucking terrible, right? Now you have to rely, and it has no heart to it. There's no instruments being played. At least back in the days, you had people who actually had skills, like legitimate DJs, you know, people who could actually do things with a turntable that you never even knew even existed. And it's crazy because, like, you probably don't even know what a fucking turntable is if you're like below the age of fucking 20, which is just fucking sad. Maybe even below the age of 30. And professional wrestling is the exact same way. It just kills me because it's like there are so many ways to do a match. There are so many ways to structure a match, and to do it in this manner. It's like Rock and Hogan, all they had to do was look left and right, and they got 20 times the intensity of a pop compared to what these guys. I mean, look at SmackDown for an example. SmackDown, Paul Heyman just came out, no theme music, and got a bigger pop than anything that you'll hear tonight. This is recent. This is modern wrestling. It just happened on Friday. All he had to do was come out to no music, just clear his throat, and got a big pop. And you have guys like this who can't even get 1/10 of the pop, doing the most stupidest shit ever. I mean, it's trash. It's just trash wrestling, and they do it all the time. They do it all the time in every match, so it's not even as if it even stands out. Because one can argue, maybe, you know, there's no agreeing with this. I was gonna say, but even then, I'll say this: if you were gonna do all this, don't have any other match on the card with as many false finishes as what you gave to this match, in order to at least make the move look somewhat devastating, which they couldn't even do that right. Just for it to end in something even more simplistic. He did the tombstone on the stairs, brought him into the ring, did another spot, and Will still kicked out, just to follow it up with a brainbuster on the top turnbuckle, which is not even Kyle Fletcher's finish. And he won the match. The story is that Will Ospreay couldn't take any more punishment to his body. But that could have been done without having to do all the other things that you did, that in reality should have been something that led to an angle that could have probably took Will Ospreay off of television for a few months. People are going to say this is one of the best matches of the year, because every single match, every single week, nothing even stands out anymore. When everything is a 5-star, then the 5-star becomes the norm. Then what is a 5-star anymore? I guess that's why he has a 7-star now, right? And they're going to praise the shit out of this. They're going to praise the shit out of it. That's the sad part. They didn't do anything out of the ordinary besides just make professional wrestling look even more stupid. And the thing is, to the average casual viewer who probably skims through a channel or they see something like this, they probably think to themselves, holy shit, that's crazy. But to the average wrestling fan, it's just another match. It really is. Really, it's just another match. This match that they had, honestly, they could have had this on AEW Dynamite and I wouldn't be able to tell the difference, and that's the problem. Matches like this shouldn't have to be deciphered on AEW Dynamite. This should be something that should happen on a pay-per-view, strictly for a pay-per-view, something that we have never seen before, or at the very least haven't seen in a long time. And it's just another AEW stereotypical match ruining everything underneath the sun, and it has no merit to it whatsoever. Like I said, great that Kyle Fletcher went over. Cool. But at what cost? And what's the follow-up? You know, you put over Hangman Adam Page in the main event with Swerve Strickland in one of the most stupidest, embarrassing matches in the history of the business, and look where it got him. No momentum structured at all. Because Tony Khan's mindset is, well, now that Kyle Fletcher beat a guy who legitimately is only as big as the wrestling fans make him out to be in today's professional wrestling, he's going to probably lose matches now and have no momentum whatsoever. It's just a joke. Professional wrestling today, it's stuff like this that make it a complete and utter fucking joke. This match sucked to me. You may have your own credibility, your own perception about what you care for in your professional wrestling. I thought this match was shitty. I thought it was embarrassing. I thought it was terrible. It's everything as to what takes the soul out of professional wrestling for me nowadays. And it's just a reminder that, professional wrestling can never be as good as it used to be. You hear people like Jim Cornette talk about this and yelling at the sun, old man type of stuff, but he's right. He's absolutely right. Nothing even means anything anymore. Professional wrestling is just an inflation. It's just an inflation. A dollar bill today is now just, or I guess a dollar bill 30 years ago is now probably $100 today, right? Has no meaning to it whatsoever. Let's get to the next match. Like I said, people are going to probably hate my opinion about this. I don't really care. I mean, you're the kind of people who would look at a match or look at an angle and say it's the best thing of all time, but it's something that was just the norm a couple of decades ago, and we can get that back, but instead we replace it with embarrassing shit like we've seen with Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay. But hey, if you're happy that Blendy Orton is now over, then I guess cool, right? Let's continue on. Jack Perry and Dan Garcia are about to have a match right now. Let's get to it. Another match where they kick out of finishers a bunch of times. Just another match. This has got to be one of the most pointless fucking shows I think I've ever. This is one of the most pointless shows ever. This is so pointless. This is so fucking pointless. The crowd was dead as fuck for this match for the majority of it. I mean, this whole little thing that Jack Perry's trying to do is just not working, bro. No one buys you as this fucking Kevin Sullivan, Raven-esque type of gimmick. No one's buying this shit, dude. No one's buying this shit. You're like 5'6" and your arms are noodles, and you have no charisma. You have no personality whatsoever. You look like you're cosplaying for a Halloween costume party. Like you're such a joke. And then Daniel Garcia, fucking Roderick Strong 2.0 in the boredom section. Just who the fuck cares? Like who the fuck actually cares? And that's what I'm saying. They know no one cares about their boring ass match. No one cares about their boring ass angle. And look, credit where credit is due. They actually tried to do something interesting with this, only for it to fall on his face because no one gives a fuck about these two. No one gives a fuck about that. Don't tell me. Don't ask me. Look at the crowd. Look at the fucking crowd. And I'm supposed to get excited because Daniel Garcia won the championship belt that no one cares about. Who cares? What, he won the fourth ranked championship belt out of the 30 titles that are already there in this lackluster ass story, in this lackluster ass match, in this dead ass crowd? I don't care. What is this supposed to be, a spectacular moment for Daniel Garcia because he won the fourth tier title? I can't stress this enough. You have to be an AEW faithful to like a match like this, to even care for a match like this. This could have been filler. No championship belt on the line at all. Hell, Jack didn't even deserve the championship belt as a whole. This is such a dumb fucking show. But like always, coming to AEW, this is what you expect. These guys hit like 3 fucking power drivers in this match. As a matter of fact, this is just 3 power drivers in this match out of the 100 done tonight. You got Kevin Owens, who's doing the power driver to Randy Orton, and he's out, and that was a neck injury angle. And my thing is, didn't Daniel Garcia have a neck injury too? And he's taking power drivers like nothing. Transitional move. They're ruining professional wrestling, folks. I don't know what to tell you. They're just ruining professional wrestling. They don't care. They're in their own universe. They're in their own bubble. But then they sit back and they ask themselves why no one's watching their garbage ass company. Like you take everything and you just throw it all against the wall and none of it sticks. It's so trash. And you're doing it with jobbers. You're doing it with fucking jobbers and thinking that's supposed to get over with people. Again, maybe with your audience, but that's why only your audience watches your programming. Stupid. This was trash. This was dumb. I hated it. Everything about this was just trash and boring. It was all filler. I was actually tempted to go do something else while this match was going on until I reminded myself, oh wait, I'm reviewing this garbage ass show. All right. That's enough time I want to spend on that. That's all the time they deserve. Let's get to the next match that hopefully gets similar time reviewed. Konosuke and fucking Ricochet, the guy who left WWE to come to the other company to do essentially the same thing he was doing in WWE, but I guess he has more of a spotlight, kind of, not really, because he flips like the rest of them. So let's see how this match differs from the rest of the matches that did nothing but flips, kicks, and kick out of finishers throughout the night to get a pop, because Lord knows they couldn't get a pop through their own fucking charisma, right? You know, the match that I thought that was going to do the most crazy bullshit outside of the stupid Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay match actually ended up being the one that was the most paced, believe it or not. This match was solid, I guess. It still had the same problems as the other matches, you know, going way too fucking long for something that had literally no story, or quite frankly no business being on the pay-per-view card. This could have easily been on the AEW Dynamite. It still had the same problems of doing the most extreme shit possible for the most part, but not to a degree where it made you just, you know, cock your head to the left and then put your hand in your head and, you know, fucking cry yourself to sleep, because you're now starting to realize that professional wrestling is more of a joke than it has ever been, ever since its existence. But again, it still had its problems. Like I said, way too long. This went way too long. This match probably went every bit of 15 minutes, and it had no business going this fucking long. And if it didn't go 15 minutes, then shame on them, because it damn sure felt like 15 minutes. And the stuff that they were doing in the match, you know, again, credit where credit is due. A lot more pace than the other matches on this card for the most part. They worked over Ricochet's back. Ricochet actually sold for a goddamn change. I know, right? Holy fuck, the moon is full tonight. Holy goddamn! I think I seen a pig flying. Looks like he was going to hell, but it's pretty cold down there. I mean, lots of shit that's happening that I didn't think could actually fucking happen. Ricochet's selling, right? And like I said, for the most part, I don't mind Konosuke, Takeshita. Ricochet, I don't like, but Konosuke, he's a star in the making as long as you give him a mouthpiece and give him something to work with. I like Konosuke. He's very straightforward. He's very Smash Mouth style. He's not like your stereotypical, you know, Asian fighter where it's like he has to do the fighting spirit, yada, 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 yada. No, he's a very, I don't know, he kind of gives me like throwback. I mean, people may disagree with me, but he kind of a little tiny bit, not too much. Again, I can see if you disagree with me, but his style kind of reminds me of Stan Hansen, early 80s. I like that he focuses strictly on like the lariats and the elbow strikes and the knee strikes, and it looks believable. He doesn't go out of his comfort zone. I like Konosuke a lot. Like I said, keep him with Don Callis, keep him with a heater, he'll be set. But Ricochet, like I said, he was less offensive tonight, but he's just boring. He's boring. He has nothing going for him, has no charisma. He's just like every other fucking midget out there who just flips and he have nothing to say on a microphone. He's just absolute dog shit. And like I said, this match in itself, though, it had no business being on the pay-per-view card. It had no story to it whatsoever. Had no reasoning happening outside of the fact that you wanted to get a title match on the card. But like I said, less offensive match on the card so far. Well, one of the less offensive matches. It is what it is, man. I'll give it somewhat of a decent average score, because like I said, maybe you could say it deserves to be on the card as a filler, you know, just as something of a pinpoint to kind of divide one match from another match. But honestly, that's all I have to say about it. I have nothing else to say about it, because I don't have, one, I didn't have any reason to care for the match to begin with, but just also it's Ricochet. You know what I mean? It's fucking Ricochet in the end of the day. He didn't mean anything in WWE, and he doesn't mean anything in AEW, so why the fuck do I care? But it was nice that Konosuke won the match. He ended up hitting a rather ugly kind of falcon arrow off the turnbuckle to get the win. I mean, I will say that was kind of disappointing, the finish, not to mention because of all the shit that they did to each other throughout the match, that the finish did come off pretty flat for the most part. But hell, I'll take flat finish any day over doing everything under the sun and ruining all the credibility of what a match is supposed to be and how it's supposed to get you invested, rather than just it being a substitute for your lack of care in regards to the build of the match in itself. So I guess half-hearted applaud. I guess it doesn't hurt. I mean, it doesn't help also that the crowd was dead for this match. I mean, the crowd's been dead for the most part throughout the fucking night. So I guess just add on to that. They need to fucking go out of their way, and they need to I don't know what's the word I'm looking for right now. Like, they need to salt their audiences, man. Like You know this crowd tonight was fucking terrible. This crowd is dead as fuck. Don't come back here anymore, man. It's not helping your case also, man. Like, but AEW's been like that for a while now with the dead crowd, so it is what it is. But I guess that's just the consequences of not getting people to relate with your character, so that's their fault. But we got Swerve, Strickland, and Bobby Lashley coming up next, so hopefully we can get through this shit, because after that we got Moxley and Orange Cassidy, and I can stop fucking out these terrible ass matches. So let's get to that, I guess. Well, I gotta say, at least this match actually brought the monotony a little tiny bit. You had stars inside this match for the most part. This was fine. I like this. A little bit more destructive compared to the other matches. I love that fucking 2 spots in particular. That's what I mean. These 2 spots are exactly what I mean when I say it doesn't ruin professional wrestling doing spots like this, but at the same time, they're still devastating. They still come off as devastating. It's not something that you can necessarily say to yourself, well, this could be an angle to take someone out for the next couple of weeks. It's just something that you do, right? The fucking swerve stump on Bobby Lashley through the announcement table, that was a sick ass spot. I fucking like that. And the spear through the barricade. Simple things like that. Simple things like that. It's not that fucking hard to not ruin professional wrestling because you so desperately want to get your bullshit over. This was a fine match. Now, I will say, coming into this match, how can I say this? I'm not going to say that I was necessarily engaged with it necessarily about as much as I was with Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay coming into this show. It's just one of those deals where it's like, I don't think that they did a good enough job. Now, granted, the inclusion of Bobby Lashley is not bad. That's obviously going to be a good thing. You need stars on this show. But in the end of the day, I did come into this match thinking to myself that, I kind of want to see where they're going to go with this. But I wouldn't be lying if I didn't say that it was hella predictable. I wouldn't be lying to say that I felt like they could have did a better job in regards to the build. But that's what happens when you focus so much on the fucking wrestling throughout the night on your regular programming, right? But nevertheless, though, they went out there and they had a fine match. They had a fine match. They did exactly what they needed to do. They made Bobby Lashley look like a beast. You know, he ended up spearing up. He hit a belly to belly first on Swerve Strickland when Swerve was being confronted by MVP, and then he hit the spear through the barricade, threw him back in the ring, and then essentially that led into the hurt lock, and he got him to tap out. And then afterwards, Prince Nana was trying to put his body over Swerve Strickland to protect him. Bobby picked him up, and then he put him in the hurt lock also, and they were both laid out together. That's a nice way. That's what you're supposed to do. Now, I will say, as good as this match was, do I think it was necessarily pay-per-view quality? Not necessarily. They had a match that they could have technically had on a regular episode of Dynamite in terms of the quality. I'm saying, like, this match should have been on pay-per-view because of the names involved, but as far as the quality of the match, it was a solid TV quality type of match. If you get what I'm trying to say, like, it was a solid TV quality match. Not anything offensive, but at the same time, like, you know, I don't know, it just never really necessarily hit that gear for me to say that, oh yeah, this is going to be something that's going to be remembered forever. But to be fair, that's not the goal of the match. The goal of the match was just to give Bobby Lashley a pay-per-view, right? This was his pay-per-view debut on AEW. And he looked good. You had the crowd who actually, you know, for a fucking change, sounded pretty hyped. You know, the "we hurt people" shit is getting over. They're chanting it in the crowd. It's nice, you know, actual fucking stars getting over something. I know it's fucking crazy in AEW. It's nice, you know, seeing the Hurt Business, or I guess the Hurt Syndicate here, and they're saying they're going to add more people, and they look strong. They look strong. I seen an interview with Bobby Lashley saying that one of his priorities coming to AEW is to obviously make money, but you know, he's winding down his career and he wants to use his name to help other superstars out. Now, I hope with what they did tonight, this can kind of continue, because I do want to see this continue, because I feel like there's more that they can get out of this angle if they want to continue it. You know what I mean? See, this is the kind of shit that I'm talking about. This is the kind of shit that you want to have. Just a solid program, not anything that was offensive, but at the same time, there's a lot more meat on the bone that you can get off of it if you choose to do so. I guess I got nothing else to say about the match besides the fact that, yeah, it did its job. It did its job. Was it the best match of the night? No. Was it a match that needed to be on the pay-per-view? Yeah, I think it did. It needed to be on the pay-per-view, and like I said, nothing else besides the fact that it did its job and it made Bobby Lashley look like a monster. Now, on the flip side, I will say You did hurt Swerve Strickland. I think this is his second straight pay-per-view loss, if I'm not mistaken. Was he on the pay-per-view card? No, he was, but he was doing the promo segment. So, you kind of make Swerve look a little bit weak, but at the same time, it was against Bobby Lashley, a former world champion, a guy who has more name value than he does at the moment. So I would like to see Swerve Strickland used a little bit more effectively going forward. I know the agenda in this match, but don't keep beating Swerve Strickland, is what I'm stating. You did a good job tonight. I know what you were trying to do, but don't make this something where Swerve Strickland has to lose every match to get everybody else over, because he is one of your star people on that show. So always keep him strong. Keep him strong. I know what you're doing right now, but keep him strong. And hopefully you do that by continuing this feud, because like I said, there's more to get out of this. I want to see this going forward. What are they going to do going forward? But with that being said, we get to the main event, folks. Jon Moxley versus Orange Cassidy. Just don't embarrass professional wrestling, man. That's all I'm asking. Like, whatever you're gonna do, this show's already embarrassing as is. Just don't further embarrass it. That's all I can hope for. I already know they're gonna do it, but let's just cross our fingers and see that maybe we can get something positive out of this. It's gonna be hard to see what we can get positive out of this, but let's see them attempt. Let's see them try. Give me a minute. Hang on. All right, I'm back, folks. I had to take like a minute. I couldn't stop laughing. I had to drink some water. Oh, dude. This is the worst wrestling company in the world. I feel like I say this every review, but they always go out of their way to usurp their retardation. What in the fuck was all of this, and then they did this, oh my god, the angle afterwards. What AEW fanboys, are you gonna defend this? AEW fanboys? How do you defend this? I need to hear the spin on this. I'm more curious in the comment section, not from the people who are going to most likely trash it along with me, because there's no defending this, but I need to hear the spin on this. I need to hear the spin on any of this. Okay, my face hurts. My face hurts from laughing so hard. Oh boy, my face hurts. Okay. So you had the match with Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley, and it went about as much as you expected it to go. Orange Cassidy bled. They tried to give him some heat. He was pretty much a non-factor for the majority of the match. It went as it was it was an AEW main event match. It wasn't even pay-per-view quality. It wasn't. And honestly, the finish, how it went down, it for me at least, it felt like it happened out of nowhere. I thought Orange Cassidy was going to kick out and they were going to continue. Out of all the matches, with all the stupid, dumb, fucking, retarded, ridiculous, false finishes, you pick this match to not do it with. Oh, my head hurts. My face hurts and my head hurts from laughing so hard. Okay. So, the finish of the match. Let's just jump to it, because honestly, they didn't do anything throughout the match besides the fact that Orange Cassidy bled, and he still kept it up with the goofy character. He still kept doing the goofy bullshit, even though this match was supposed to be taken seriously. Oh god, he even bled and put his hands in his pockets and started doing the stupid fucking kicks, even though Jon Moxley is trying to make this match something. This is so stupid. So you had Cesaro and Neville get involved, right? And Jim Ross, who was doing commentary, asked the common sense question: why won't any securities or anybody kick him out from ringside? I don't know, Jim. You're using too much common sense. Instead, the conglomeration come out and they start to fight them. Jobbers fighting other jobbers. right? And while that distraction is going on, Willow Nightingale comes out, and then she attacks Mira, what the fuck is her name? Mia, whatever the fuck her name is. Who cares? Who fucking cares? While all that is happening, Orange Cassidy picks up the briefcase and he hits Jon Moxley with it, and they're thinking to themselves, "Oh, this is the hope spot." Before you use Willer Yuta as your spot to close out a match. He comes in the ring with a hoodie on, like we don't know who the fuck he is, but even if we did, is it supposed to be a surprise or something? Oh, I got more to talk about with surprises though. I got more to talk about if you even want to call it a surprise. Willer hits Orange Cassidy with a running knee, which follows up with Jon Moxley hitting the paradigm shift, and that's it. That's it. We didn't get too many false finishes, if anything, in this match. Outside, that was it. That was legitimately it. All the matches with all the fucking bullshit. This match, by the way, another power driver. Because seriously, every match had to do a power driver. It's like they're fucking waving at WWE, going, "Hey, WWE, I know you're trying to, revive some wrestling moves, but we're just gonna say fuck you, okay? Just fuck you. Any move you wanna revive, fuck you." Your guys are trying to run a business. We're trying to run a circus. John won the match with a paradigm shift. Then, bro, oh my god, it gets even goofier. They pull out this fucking green liquid. The way the announcers described it, they said it looked like a cleaning product. And while Orange Cassidy is bleeding, they're pouring this cleaning product in his mouth and all over his face, and he's gagging. They try to murder someone again. They try to poison him. They try to poison a wrestler. They try to poison Orange Cassidy. You can't make this shit up. They try to poison Orange Cassidy. Oh, but it gets better. It gets so much better. Oh, bruh, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know where they're going. They're just doing shit. They're just doing shit, bruh. For some fucking reason, I don't know why. Man, Adam Page comes out. I don't know why either. He comes out with a chair and he just hits Willer Yuta in the head with it. Oh my god. And he's staring down Jon Moxley with a chair, and then Christian comes out and attacks Jon Moxley. I don't know where Christian came from. I don't know why Hangman Adam Page is involved. This is all such a clusterfuck. Christian has the contract in his hand, right? That he can cash in order to get a Money in the Bank cash in. He's going to do it to Jon Moxley. He's standing there forever. He could have just pinned him. He could have. The referee was right there. But he took forever. And then Jay White comes out to attack Christian. Not to attack Hangman Adam Page, who attacked him earlier. He attacks Christian. I don't know where they're going, bro. And while he's attacking Christian, out of nowhere, he hits the fucking Sister Abigail or Gunslinger, whatever the fuck he calls his move. He hits it on I forgot who he even hit it on. I think he hit it on one of the fucking members of the fucking Death Riders, Dick Riders, whatever. I don't care. He's leaving, right? And the rest of the Dick Riders, they're so I guess he didn't hit him on one. I guess he hit it on somebody. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking care, bro. Like, he's walking out and they cut backstage, and you have the Dick Riders. They're going to their truck, and then out of nowhere, this car comes, and it just plows right into their fucking truck. Yes, folks, this is all happening. I can't explain it. When they plow into his truck, the rest of the Dick Riders, they go to a random car, and they pretty much just Grand Theft Auto the car. They get inside, and they steal the fucking car with the person still in the car. So that's a crime. Another one. So they're poisoning people. They're committing Grand Theft Auto. It's wild. But, bro, I'm thinking to myself, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking to myself, was that Edge? I'm saying, because it has skulls on the side of the car. It's purple. I'm thinking, is it Edge? Is that who did that? No, folks. And I thought to myself, how the fuck did Edge come back so fast? He had a broken leg. This is just only back in April or May. How the fuck did he come back? Because it wasn't Edge. The surprise was that it was Darby Allin. Yes, folks. They built this all up as a surprise to expose that it's Darby Allin who hit their car. Then he gets on top of their car like a lunatic with a skateboard, and he starts bashing their fucking window in like a fucking caveman. And you have the security guards telling Darby to get off the car as the show's going off the air. Bruh, I don't know. This was one of the goofiest, most overbooked AEW faithful. You go after Vince Russo all the time when it comes to the goofy overbooking bullshit, right? Defend this. Tell me how, Sway, how, defend this. Never mind this being one of the biggest clusterfucks I think I've ever seen. Never mind the fact that this is the most random shit I've ever seen. Never mind the fact that we had another attempted murder on television. Never mind the amount of common sense and logic that went out of the way. Never mind the booking of the match, allowing all this bullshit to go on top of the fact that you do all the false finishes in the world for the matches that don't matter, but for your world championship, you don't do that. Never mind the fact that you put Orange Cassidy in the spot to make a mockery of the angle that you're trying to put across people as far as it being serious. You do all of this just for that ending. That's your main event. That was your main event. You can't make this shit up, folks. You think all you can do is laugh. Usually you would think I'd be yelling and screaming right now for just the absurdity of how fucking stupid this I don't even know what the fuck to call this. It's just this is a thing. This is a fucking thing that occurred on wrestling. I don't know where. It's like, I swear they said to themselves, they were thinking about, I promise you, Tony was thinking about Jim Cornette, and he said to himself, how do we need to do the complete opposite of what makes Jim Cornette happy. Every fucking spot, every fucking thing, every fucking regards, we need to do the complete opposite of what will make Jim Cornette happy. Because we need to have an episode of him exploding. Because maybe if Jim Cornette shits on us just enough, that would get people to want to tune into our show. I'm a conspiracy theorist now. This match has turned me into a fucking conspiracy theorist. This was so god awful. This has got to be one of the worst fucking angles I think I've ever seen in my entire wrestling fandom. And they did it on a pay-per-view. This match was trash. And then you had the audacity to do one of the worst angles in the history of professional This is a clown show, folks. This is a circus. This is dangerously retarded. This is dangerous levels of retardation that I can't humbly explain. This was horrible. This is one of the worst pay-per-views of the fucking year. It's like they did everything to ruin professional wrestling today. They really wanted to be an alternative in the worst way fucking possible. You gotta go watch this match, if for nothing else, just to see the train wreck and the car accident, literally and figuratively, of this entire fucking match. In fact, this entire fucking show. This was god-awful. This was terrible. This is by far the worst pay-per-view of the fucking year, and it's not even close. And that says something, because they constantly outdo themselves in this shitty department. Oh my god, bro, I gotta get out of here. This was so fucking bad. It was so bad that it actually ended up being good. Like, we actually hit the point where AEW is such a low-cal company. They're so fucking terrible that they're good. Oh my god, bro, you gotta watch this match. It's so fucking terrible. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below in regards to this whole entire shit show. This shit was diabolical. This was diabolically terrible. Let me hear some thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, my name is Devontae, aka Millennial Smart. I gotta go get an Advil from laughing so hard. I got a fucking headache. Deuces. Peace. What a fucking horrible match. Holy shit.